per tonne gold, and the discovery of an 88-gram nugget found on the surface. The project is close to the Kirkland Lake Gold's Fosterville mine, which is the lowest cost producer in the world. The project includes an open-cut mine, free gold on the surface, substantial geological work, and evidence of quartz. So, Phil, sounds very good. What can you tell us about it?
Well, the closeology is the key thing here in that we have the same rocks that the Fosterville mine has in our area. If you walk through the cuttings and have a look at that open cut mine where they got 10 grams per tonne from, you can see the same turbidite system. It's a white colour. The rocks are very identifiable, but there's a bit of a trick to it in that in the Permian there were a lot of glacial material was moved. Some people say from 150 kilometres away, but I doubt that. But there's a fair bit of glacial terrain around, and that contributed partly to the amount of gold. And in our 26 hectare square kilometre area, there's been about 30 ounces of gold found by the local farmer with his metal detector. But there's also been some other big hits, which I haven't seen photographs of the gold, whereas the material found by the farmer, I've seen photographs and actually seen a couple of his pieces of gold and hit them with the XRF machine, and they were 95% gold. So that convinced me. But the area is very interesting because it's got a very big gravity high up one side of the tenement area, and we're going to explore because that replicates what's 10 kilometres over. They have a gravity high there. We used deep ground penetrating radar and basically finished most of the lines that we did, but all we really found in that structure was a couple of possible large faults, which we may drill later on, but lots of paleo channels, old riverbeds that had accumulated gold and other bits and pieces, and then been covered over. So we can go back to that, but what we're really after is the mineralisation being pushed up by the hot fluids through the reef systems and depositing gold in the same manner that the Fosterville project has. And there's lots of folding. There's 2 faults either side. I guess Fosterville has the Fosterville fault going through almost through the middle of the mine. So it's got probably a slight advantage over some of the other tenements around the place. But, having said that, there's been gold found 2 kilometres away from the actual fault line in the hanging wall. So we're pretty keen to pursue the Mount William fault area and do our gravity survey, which will be about 520 points. And that way at 50-metre intervals, we get a really good impression of the structural geology and be able to find these big folds that have got faults through them, and the large bits of plumbing faults, which are introducing the hopefully gold-rich fluids and deposited in the turbidites. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the game plan. And as soon as we finish the gravity survey, we'll do the geophysics and start drilling and hopefully hit success.
Okay. Well, the big question is, what will it take here to make a big discovery?
It's really the model, which is the key thing. So the classic model in this area is a anticline fold with a fault going through the middle of it, being offset, and then the tension veins, which are perpendicular to the fault, fill up with the mineralised solutions, and that's where you get the big hits. You get your 5 metres or 3 metres of 30, 40, 50 grams per tonne. That's what we're chasing, and you've got to understand the structural geology first, then do your temperatures, and then once you've done that, obviously look at your drilling results, and then define your model, and then you can go for the big hit, either as an open pit or an open pit combination underground mine.
Okay. And I understand as well there's quite a lot of history in this project. Is that right?
Yeah, there is. Actually, there's Dr. Rod Boucher had it prior to us, and he's the guru on turbidites in Australia, and he did some great work, did a lot of trenching and put down a couple of drill holes, and just started a little bit of deep ground penetrating radar work. which needed to be reprocessed. So we basically gave it a big push and did 14 kilometres and got much better results, much better understanding of the structural geology, but we only did it in over about 10 square kilometres, and there's another 10 square kilometres to do in the northwestern section of the property, which is a little bit further away from Fosterville, but only maybe 2 or 3 kilometres. The Golden Camel is right next door to us, and then they've got some big hits, and they've got the Baleton mine, which is a little bit to the south. Outback Gold have got further to the south, to the north. Between ourselves and Fosterville, there's what they call Block 3 and Block 4, which are going up for tender, and they've both had some fairly significant exploration done by Fosterville in the past, and Perseverance and some of the other mining companies that have been operating in the area, and they're up for tender. That tender will be decided this year. It was supposed to be in April, but I'm not sure they'll hit that deadline. But that will be a major discovery, and I understand that the people that bid for the block have got very, very significant exploration budgets in the millions. So it's going to be exciting to see what comes out of it and work over the next year or so, what actually happens, because that may influence what we do and where we do it, because we're right on the border of Block 3 and Fosterville's on the other side. So it's going to be quite exciting.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Phil Thomas there, the CEO of AIS Resources, for talking to us there about the Fosterville-Toollean Gold Project in Victoria, Australia.